Hey guys, I'm Amy Robinson. Today's video is going to be a comparison between the Canon 700D with a 1.8 50mm lens and the Apple iPhone 7 Plus camera. As you know, iPhoneography has become a bigger part of the world, so this video is going to be a little test to see just how good the iPhone camera is compared to the Canon. So I started the task and I wanted to get some inspiration for the shoot. So I knew I wanted a proper model and I knew I wanted a certain type of colour. So the first thing I did was I came up with this idea of creating some colour palettes to go off. So I made one each, one for tones, one for atmosphere and one for location. As you can see, the tones are quite a nude and neutral colour palette. The atmosphere is a little bit warmer because I wanted it to feel less abstract and more personal with the photo shoot. And the location again is kind of like darker and colder colours just to act as a contrast between the location and the model. The second thing I had to do was find a model. So I found Sophie Grieve Hunter through Instagram, and she was actually my first choice for shooting with because she looked like quite a natural model. She didn't look like she wore too much makeup, and for me I like to keep it as natural and true as possible, so that's why she appealed to me. So I got in contact with her via Instagram and asked if she wanted to collaborate. So we planned a trade photo shoot where I would take some photos and she would be modelling and we would just trade them, and it would be kind of a free shoot for both of us. So our first location was Newcastle Civic Centre. The reason I chose this location was because I knew it had some really nice kind of stonework there. I should also say that this was the first shoot I've done with a proper model. Usually I've just done a few bits and pieces with my friends. So as we can see, Sophie is wearing a sort of lightish baby pink top with a light denim ripped jean and boots. I left her hair down because I thought it just looked nicer, especially with the sunlight. So here we can see that the iPhone camera is quite good. I was lucky with the light with this one because the light was so perfect to shoot in, and the iPhone really did benefit from all that natural light. So I did shoot this one using portrait mode, but you can kind of shoot whatever you would like. I only really shot portrait because the 50mm lens is seen as the standard kind of go-to portrait lens, so I only thought it would be fair to do a comparison of that. The highlights with the iPhone camera aren't as good, which is probably the only thing I could point out with that shoot. The second location that we went to is Monument, and around here you've got some really old buildings and the architecture is really nice. So I decided to shoot kind of around the Theatre Royal, Monument, and some back streets as well. She changed her jumper here. Sometimes she's worn a coat and she can do a couple of cool tricks with the little hat she also wears. So in these comparison photos you can again see that the iPhone is quite good, but the 50mm will beat it. The camera was having trouble reading the foreground from the background, so it meant some of it was blurred. You can see like in her hair up here sometimes it is a little bit blurred out. It almost as if it can't differentiate the colour between her hair and the background. And again with this shoot, the highlights were really blown out, which I think is the main bad point. The third and final location was Grange Market. Here I got Sophie to change into a sort of dark brown tan jumper with very dark blue jeans instead. First I wanted to do a lot of stuff with the light and see how it handled background light. We then found a couple more locations. My favourite from this shoot would have been the vinyl record store in the Grange Market because it was just a really nice place to shoot and I thought the colours there were quite nice. It was a little bit more difficult though because the colour of her hair, the colour of the jumper and the colour of the background in the vinyl store was all sorts of like browny, beigey colours, and it was quite low light as well, so the iPhone really did struggle with that particular location because of the lighting and because of the colours. When I was trying to shoot in portrait mode it was kind of like freaking out and didn't really know what to focus on, but overall I'm really impressed with the iPhone 7 Plus camera capabilities. Saying that, it's not even the most recent phone. I would love to do a comparison between the iPhone 10 camera and the Google Pixel 2 to see just how similar or how different they are in terms of quality. Before I forget, another quick thing, I have changed my Instagram handle. I am sad to see the Chinglish go, but it will always remain a part of me. See you later guys, bye!